Hello everybody, this is General Snivy and Rinoa. What the hell are you doing? Why are you inside Squall right now? Anyway, welcome back to more of the Final Fantasy VIII playthrough. In today's session, we're going to figure out how the hell it is we can get back to Earth after we found our way into the spaceship. Because in the last video, or in the last session, we were doing everything we could to get Rinoa back up on her feet. And during that time, Rinoa got possessed by Ultimika and forced her hand to free sorceress Adel. So that's fun. and because of that little adventure, she was sent flying into space after freeing Adel's seal. So after that, we caught her somehow, and now we need to figure out how the hell we can return to Earth. So let's go ahead and get things underway. All we have to do is just enter through these doors and... What the? Looks like we're not alone here, and I forgot to create a backup save. Oops. Whatever, there's still time. Ah! What is that? I don't know. What a strange looking creature. And odd color too. Doesn't look like a very friendly creature. Let's just try to sneak by it. Better be ready for anything. Let me double check my junction. Indeed. We'll do that. Whoa! Hello there! Never mind. I guess we're jumping straight into the heart of the beast. I was going to go back and save progress, but game's like, nah, you don't need to save now. There's no time for that. So anyway, this ship is infested with these monsters. They all look the same, but are different enough to have corresponding colors. So basically, the main gimmick of this place is we need to hunt down these monsters and be sure to take out the ones that are matching each other. So in essence, there's two of each kind or each colored monster. They're all the same, but different colors. Each color has a pair of two monsters. If you kill one and then kill another monster that is not of the same color, then that other pair who you previously killed will bring back his friend. So basically, that's what you have to do. You have to essentially play a game of run away from every monster you meet until you find the right colored monster. And the different colored monsters are in different rooms. So yeah, that's something to take a look at and be sure to remember. I remember us fighting a green monster not that long ago. Also, Chocobo World. I took a little bit of time to grind a little bit more, and Bucko has officially reached level 100. So now he's fully maxed out as far as levels are concerned. So only thing left to do is just have him get items basically forever. So let's see what he brought home this time. High Potion Plus, an X Potion, Mega Potion, Elixir, Mega Elixir, sweet, Antidote, Soft, Echo Screen, Holy Water, Hero Trial, Friendship, Rename Card, Junction J Scroll, Status Attack, 2 Rosetta Stones, an Item Scroll, Healing Ring, Bomb Spirit, Healing Mail, Hyper Wrist, Cricklet, 3 stars, 2 shotgun ammo, 3 fire ammo, 4 fast ammo, 3 pulse ammo, hell yeah, 11 M stone piece, 11 magic stones, 7 wizard stones, a healing water, lightweight, saw blade, vampire fang, a black hole, water crystal, mystery fluid, running fire, Marlboro tentacles, sweet, I need those. We'll get into that later. A power generator, bomb fragment, steel orb, moonstone, dino bone, 2 fish fins, a silence powder, 1 thing of fuel, 2 chocobos tags, and a speed up. Hell yeah, that is sweet. And I think because of that, since Bucko is now officially level 100, he should now be, okay, maybe not. He's not listed as a GF. Perhaps it's one of the items I just got not too long ago. Let's see. Okay, so the Chocobo's tag allows you to change Bucko's name to something else if you wish. Let's see. Ooh. There you go. Bad breath. I think she already learned this or not. Whatever, we'll just give it to her anyway. Already knows aqua breath. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. So basically, Hero Trial. This says that it makes characters invincible sometimes. Well, despite the item description, this actually makes you invincible all the time. So, the Hero Trial is broken. So it acts the same as the Hero item. So, that's nice. And High Potion Plus, this is a brand new item. And basically this heals 2,000 HP as opposed to 1,000. And I still can't use the Solomon Ring yet because I don't have the right items, or don't have the amount of items that I need. At least not yet. Okay, let's go ahead and save our progress yet again. And we'll get the Marlboro tentacles another way later on. So anyway, let's go ahead and explore this ship. Whoa, hello! That was kind of scary, but it doesn't look like we have much of a choice. We're gonna have to fight this thing in order to defeat it. So, oops. Anyway, since this monster is red, and the other one who we previously fought is green, well, that monster is going to be revived after this one is defeated. Just because of the fact that the colors don't match. Anyway, these monsters aren't too powerful. They're not too bad to take out. Especially if you happen to have some good weapons on you, like the Lionheart, especially at this point in the game. Yeah, it's definitely a godsend item to have right now. It truly is. Alright, let's go ahead and slice you down. Cut you down to size. Excuse me. Bite. What? Well, damn, that was definitely not good. Don't I have any lives right now for Squall? Well, full lives. That'll work. Dang it. That sucks. Oh well. Full life is better than nothing. I'm sure we'll be able to get more later. And if anything else, I can always activate that one cheat that gives me like 100 of all the spells I have in my possession. Even so, just another option. No finisher, eh? Well then, doesn't matter. At least the battle is won. That's pretty sweet. Still though, would have liked to have, oh, strength bonus. Nice. Oh right, I forgot about the GFs. Let's see, what can we have you learn? Absolutely nothing other than GF plus 30%. GF HP plus 30%, my mistake. Let's see. Let's see, what should we have you learn here? You know what, let's just keep you at GF HP plus 30%. Keep working on that for a bit. Alright. Let's see. There we go. All better. And as you see here, that monster there has been revived. And okay, the monster is actually yellow, not green. So now we're just going to go and search around and see if we can find a red monster. It's no use, it won't open. I guess we'll have no choice but down. A life. Okay. I knew Squall had life somehow. Alright, so, let's see if we can, Ah, crap. I got stuck on the frickin' stairs. Damn it! What is this, Castlevania? I really did not want to fight this thing, but doesn't look like I have much of a choice. Oh, okay. Thanks, King. Thank you for that. Thank you, dude. Thank you for coming in. And another thing that's worth pointing out, too, is once you encounter these monsters, there is no escape. You cannot escape from these battles whatsoever, so you have no choice but to stick around. No choice but to stick around and fight them to the bitter end. Other than that, it's not that bad. Okay, he was a purple monster. Let's see if we can find another one. I didn't really get a good view of that room. That one is green. There's also a hidden save point in there. You can use it if you want, but for me... Oh, hello there, purple monster. Nice of you to make an acquaintance. Let's fight and take care of these evil bastards once and for all. Once you find the correct color monster... Ah, man. Well, looks like Rinoa's on her own here. And things have officially gotten worse. Treatment. Ow. Well, damn. This is a mess. Oh, Jesus. Please, Rinoa, please. Act before... Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Wow, what a great way to start. Oh well. Well, at least we're not that far back. The only thing that happens is we just go back to the previous save point. And thankfully I did save not that long ago, so at least we can try this again. And once again, the monsters are just gonna lay here and be like, grr. I'm dead. Screw you. Dang it. What a waste. What a waste of my frickin' time. Well, one thing I probably could have done is, ow. Could have had Rinoa activate GF, so that way it would receive the damage instead of her. And you don't even receive experience from these guys either, so there's not much of a point of worrying. Ow. Okay, why are these things still... Why are they... how do they keep attacking repeatedly over and over again? Is it because Squall's at level 30? Nah, that can't be it. Screw you! You know what? Full life. Ow. Okay, seriously, this is starting to get old real fast. These guys are not this difficult. I don't know what the hell's going on. Why are they acting so strangely? Damn! Come on! Again with this shit. It's as if these damn things, I don't even know what's going on. It's, son of a bitch. It's as if they have haste active. That's why they're attacking so frickin' fast. Seriously, what the actual frick? Okay, come on. Wrong slot, damn it. Ugh, damn it. Well, again, good news is, at the very least, there's still... We can still keep fighting these bastards until we bleed. Or until we eventually give up. I mean, if you're at a point where you're very unprepared to fight these things, well then you're essentially soft-locked and you'll have no choice but to start over. Wow. Great. Things just got even better! Seriously, this thing just does not stop attacking. It seems like it attacks like every 3 seconds. I swear to God, I'm not kidding. 3 seconds is all it takes. So what the hell's up with this crap? Perhaps I need to assign magic to Rinoa or something? Something better to enhance her defenses? Especially considering the fact that this thing has Thundaga up its arsenal. This is truly a shit show, that's for sure. Ow! Holy crap, that hurt. This is definitely not fun. Finally, we got past him again. Now we just need to make it through the rest of this gauntlet of death. Okay, there's strength bonus from a freak. Okay, cool. Remedy, there you go. Okay, let's see what we have for... Okay, Rinoa has no magic. Well, shit. Oh, no wonder Rinoa is getting her ass kicked on the frickin' silver platter. No magic to junction, unlike Squall here. Magic. Can I equip anything here that's of any use? No. Not really. Okay. Let's keep going then. There's normally a life draw point here, so what the hell is that about? Perhaps the draw point here is random? I don't know. But either way... Back up the stairs. Well, at least the good news is, at least these things can't climb stairs. God damn it. Alright. Let's get things underway again. Fight more of these purple bastards! I don't even know what the hell these things are, but they're ugly, and I don't like them. They're no friendly dinosaurs, that's for damn sure. Ow. How? How do you deal so much frickin' damage with that crap? Over 1,000 damage. Great, this is another one of those scenarios where it seems as though the enemies just gonna keep attacking every 3 seconds. Okay, we need to finish this guy off nice and quick. Otherwise, Rinoa's gonna be dead again. Okay, 134. Hopefully this will finish him off. Please. Please kill it. Over 2k damage. And still not dead. Well, shit. Well, everything just went down the shitter again. I don't know what's going on. What's up with the enemy AI? Have I been doing so well that the enemies have suddenly decided to go, oh, yeah, I'm ferocious. I'm gonna keep slamming you into the frickin' ground. I would love it if... Oh, right. Angelo can't come to the rescue. Oh, thank you. Thank you for taking that hit, Quincelatl. I don't know what your name is. I can't pronounce it. And honestly, I don't care at this point. Phew! Too close. Way too close for comfort. Okay. Get you back up. And let's see if we can use a high potion or two. The next potion would also be pretty good. I mean, really good. I know I have some high potions here somewhere. Let's see. I really need to reorganize my items. You know what? Let's rearrange everything automatically. Here we go. Perfect. And Squall, I'm gonna just give you a regular potion just to keep you in critical HP state for now. Although that may not seem like a good idea. It's just so we can spam Squall's limit break more quickly and easily. Man, this has just been one hell of a day. Haven't really gone much anywhere yet. You bastard! Ow! That wasn't even a second, and it just like double jab, like boom, boom, like that. What the frickin' hell? This is awful. And Quincelot's dead, and Rinoa's going to die too. Crap. Okay, maybe not. Somehow irrelevant. Seriously, why does it seem like these things have so much friggin' attack power? Okay, I don't care. I'm not gonna be going for any sort of a crit yet. Okay, never mind. I probably should have gone for it. Yes, I should have. God damn it! This is getting absolutely goddamn ridiculous. Come on, let's go, game. Wrong slot. God, this is so infuriating. I can't get anywhere. So, you know what? Screw this. Damage modifying cheat activated. At least until we can get past the first bastard here. Because this is getting absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that we are absolutely stuck here. He just keeps dealing so much frickin' damage with every frickin' attack. There. First guy's passed. Just need to get moving. Ultima Stone. Wow, not bad. Let's see. Item. Yeah, you know what, yeah. Let's just keep everyone at full HP, no matter what. And, Rinoa, I'm gonna change your junctions around, or your abilities, rather. Treatment. I don't think we're gonna need this, so we're gonna go item here. Actually, we're gonna put item here and recover here. Okay. Let's try this again now. There's the purple bastard who you can't avoid no matter what. You can't dodge him, so you have to fight him every step of the damn way. And I meant to select GS, not... okay, nice crit. I guess one thing you could do is, if you have Elemental Defense J available, you could make it so you can give yourself Thunder-based magic within that Elemental Defense slot, so that way you can absorb the magic, or at the very least, reduce the damage quite a lot. Ow! I can't believe that was a critical hit. God damn. This has just not been my day. It honestly hasn't. I mean, Squall can clean these guys up, no problem. It's just, keeping everyone alive is a pain in the ass. especially considering the fact that these bastards deal so much damage all at once. Okay, and Rinoa is still perfectly fine. I think we need some G-High potions right now. How's everyone else doing? Okay. Okay, let's try this crap again. Fight you one more time. It seems like if you fight the second pair, they're even stronger than the first variation. I don't even know. I really just do not know. I've never had this much trouble fighting these frickin' tentacle monsters in all of my life. I mean, seriously, never in any playthrough I've done of this game have I seen these things so damn aggressive. These are some of the most aggressive enemies I've ever faced in this entire game. And there are even optional dungeons out there that feature even more aggressive enemies. So this may be foreshadowing of things to come. I don't know. But either way, I don't really plan on finding out anytime soon. At least I hope not. Because goddamn, this is annoying. Okay. Everyone's back up on their feet. Okay, purple enemy is down. Now we just have the red guys. Thankfully, I know exactly where they are. The first one is here within this second room, and the first one is here within this strange hallway. The second one is back on the bridge. Also, why did I do that? I meant to select GF. I'm crazy. And now Rinoa's going to die. How did I frickin' know? God damn it. Sure, use blind on Squall. Great idea. Too bad it's not gonna do you any freaking good. All because I selected the wrong goddamn move. Jesus Christ, man. Come on, Squall, finish it! Please! Phew! That's a lot of damage. No finisher, but I'll gladly take that. Oh, that was way too close. Way too freaking close. Okay. Okay. Just need to pick ourselves right back up, and everything is gonna be fine. Where is my remedy? Here we go. Okay. And as you can see, despite us killing that red monster not too long ago, the purple monster here is still dead. And the reason why is because we killed both of the purple monsters that are on this ship. So now they cannot revive each other. So now, we just need to take care of this red bastard here. So that way the red guys will become completely wiped out from existence. Okay, here we go. Blind again. Well, sucks to be you. Oh, man. I hate this bastard. I hate these guys so much. Again, I don't know why they're giving me such a hard time. They normally don't. They normally don't. They're normally not too bad. I mean, sure, they put up a good fight, but never in my life have I seen them act this aggressively. It's almost as if these things are level 100 all of a sudden. So, what the hell's up with that? I have no idea why this is. And, to be honest, it's kind of driving me nuts. But, It's alright. Everything's gonna be okay. Just zap him with a little bit of lightning, and down he goes. Phew. Another hairy situation dodged. Okay, magic plus 40%. Excellent. Let's see, what should we have you learn? Nothing other than magic bonus. So basically, what magic bonus does is, just like with strength bonus, if you have that ability equipped, you'll earn magic every time you level up. So long as you have that ability equipped. Well, granted, you will earn these abilities no matter what. It's just, magic will be increased as you're getting stronger. And, basically, you'll get more. More of it, too. Okay. There we are. Okay, so the red guys are now officially done for. Thank God. Also, was it me or did that monster just suddenly move? Also, hello, green thing. Whatever you are, you're ugly. I don't like your face. And you should be destroyed. Alright. Ow! Holy crap, that hurt. It's almost as if she's getting hit by a frickin' tractor trailer. Almost, but not quite. Sure, enemies can deal a ton of damage if they're willing. And when they do deal damage, it's quite a lot. And it's really, really painful. That's for sure. I don't like that. Okay, how much more? Ow. Really, dude, enough! Enough is enough! I've had it with these mother-trucking aliens on this mother-trucking shit! Everybody strap in! Somebody better open some frickin' windows, because things are about to go zappity-zap-zap! Bring on the lightning! Just don't put her in the hallway, whatever you do. Another creature down. And several more to go. Oh man. This has been one hell of a day. One thing after another. And we still got a ways to go, folks. These creatures are definitely not going to make things easy. But thankfully there is a save point here to make our life a little bit easier. So here you go. So we just gotta remember this monster whom we fought is green. Thankfully there's only 2 more pairs left on this ship. Just the green ones and the yellow ones. And here's one of the yellow, or I'm wrong, that's the green one. The other green one. Let's fight! Perfect. Alright. How convenient. Let's finish this up nice and quick. Oh, of course. Of course! Silence. You just gotta use silence on me. Poor Rinoa. Now she's going to die for sure. Unless I use treatment or recover. Controller! Why did my controller just suddenly die? Well, crap. Draw. No. No, crap. The controller just gave up. So I'm gonna have to use the keyboard for the time being. And I have no idea how to cancel. Come on, man! I target fucking Rinoa! Are you kidding me right now? Well, this is it. Squall's going to die. Squall is going to frickin' die. All because my controller had to crap out. Which button is this? What's the pause button? I hit pause. Somehow. Okay, here's blasting zone. Okay. I hope this will be enough to kill this son of a bitch. God damn it. Why does it seem like the controller just randomly disconnects now? I've never had this problem before. Whew. Okay, he's dead. Okay, I unplugged the controller and plugged it back in. Why is it not confirming? Well then, I gotta reload the game because the controller just stopped responding, even after unplugging it and plugging it back in. I don't know what the hell is up with that crap. And it seems like in order to regain control, you have to exit out of the game and reload it. Oh, so now this draw point appears. Again, it seems like these draw points on this ship are purely random. They'll randomly appear if you, they're just random. They'll randomly appear and randomly disappear. So what's up with that? I have no freaking idea. When one draw point appears, another one will appear as well. So that's pretty nice. Okay. Alright, well, since the controller crapped out, we're just going to completely destroy him. Activate the damage modifying sheet, so that way we can just destroy him instantaneously. I mean, we fought him before, and there's no need to fight him again. Good night, sweet prince, you son of a bitch! Thank God for the power of cheat codes that can be activated and deactivated at will. So that's pretty nice. Emergency security system activated. Cockpit access denied until all threats are eliminated. All threats, eh? You're talking about these freaks? Okay. Only one pair left to take down. And that is the yellowish pair, or light green pair. Ow. God damn, that hurt. That hurt so freaking much. Couldn't steal. Not like I'm really looking to stealing anything. Ow. Okay, Rinoa, come on in with the thunderstorm and save the day, please. That would be fan-frickin-tastic. Excuse me. God damn it. Well, that was a crapshoot. I don't even know if we're going to be able to survive this next attack round now. Just because of how aggressive. Okay, irrelevant. They're dead. Phew. Too close for comfort. Flare stone. Nice. Excellent. Alexander learned the revive command. So, what should we have you learn? Let's see. How about we have him learn high magic refinement? That sounds good. Alright. And Rinoa is perfectly fine. Alright, let's see what this room was all about. This looks like some sort of room that's built for an auditorium. Let's see, a report on the monsters breeding on this ship. We eliminated all the monsters on this ship, but we leave this report in case they breed again. The monsters are 3 to 6 meters tall, extremely hostile and savage. They are ferocious carnivores and have attacked and devoured numerous crew members. There are 8 independent monsters, but they are also one entity. The monsters can be killed through regular combat, but it must be done systematically. For example, if you kill one monster in a certain place and kill another one in a different place, the first monster you killed may be revived by another monster. The 8 monsters work together to maintain their colony. They seem immortal, but they are not. Killing them in a certain order prevents them from reviving one another. Here's a more clear example. Let's name the 8 monsters with letters, A through H. Let's say Monster B can revive Monster A, and Monster D can revive Monster C, and so on. If you kill Monster B right after you kill Monster A will never be able to revive. We have confirmed that the monsters that are paired up have similar features. That is all the information we have. Good luck! So basically we have to kill them in pairs that have the same colors, right? Yes, that's exactly right, Rinoa. And I've just explained this not too long ago. Also, security lock released. Okay. We're almost done here. Just got one more to go. This is the last monster who we have to fight and deal with for the rest of our lives. Okay. GF, please. Ow. Damn. A lot of damage. Not what I'd like to see. Oh, come on. Quit targeting Squall, you bastard. Well, actually, that should be a good thing. Because of the fact that the Squall has a lot of HP to work with, he can survive at least 3 or 4 attack rounds. Unless he gets critical twice, in which case he will be dead in like 2 rounds. Okay. This guy's dead. Phew! Jesus Christ, on a frickin' bicycle. That took 48 minutes. Holy shit, that took way too damn long. That should not have taken 48 goddamn minutes. But, at the very least, all the monsters have been eliminated. So, that's sweet. Because of that, we're now ready to ride the cockpit. Wow! I have to fly this thing? What's that? Squall, it's trying to talk. Volume? This is Esthar Air Station. It's Ragnarok, do you read? Ragnarok, do you read? A radio signal? This is Air Station. Do you copy? This ship is the Ragnarok? Whoa! Is this really the Ragnarok? You're in space, right? Yeah, but I have no idea where we are. Roger that. We can track you from here. Can we go home? Ragnarok, it's been 17 years. Can we make it back? Leave it to us. You should have enough fuel. Enter your location into the atmospheric reentry program and you'll be okay. Once you enter the atmosphere, we can guide you down. You'll be just fine. How do I enter the data? No sweat. We'll take this step by step. Are you in the pilot seat? There are too many seats here. It's the one to the right. Go sit there. Okay. Oh, okay, I'm here. See the touch panel in front of you? Yeah, I see it. The rest is easy. Just enter the following data. Go ahead. WJHEIE / entered. Then 2872 / HD-IEU. Entered. No errors? It's fine. Next, I'm sure you're okay, but there's something I need you to do. Turn off the gravity generator. This should save some fuel. Use the same touch panel to turn it off. Alright. This must be it. Done. Congratulations, you're home free, Ragnarok. And there's one more thing we need to tell you. From all of us at Ground Control, we wish you Godspeed. Thanks. Have a seat, Rinoa. And, I believe the song that's playing now is... Hey! Oh my! Here we are. Alright, have a seat, Rinoa. Just have a seat. Go sit over there. Put your seatbelt on. Sounds like a good idea. Oh my. We'll be home soon. By the way, the song that's playing, hopefully. Now go sit down. Aww. Just a little longer. Sure, I guess. Why are you holding on to me like this? You don't like this, Squall? Just not used to it. How about it when you were little? Didn't you feel safe and secure being held by your parents? I can't remember anything about my parents. But Ellen was there for me. Ellen was there to hold my hand. Maybe you feel safe and secure? Sure. But she left. She just disappeared. I'm afraid. Afraid of having that feeling of comfort taken away. You were afraid of losing us? Is that why you kept your distance? I was always alone. Squall, you missed out on all the good things in life. You've missed out on so much. Maybe. Definitely. I like it like this. By the way, the song that's playing is Eyes on Me. I like having my mom hold me. Aw, that's sweet. My dad too, back when we got along. I'm not your mom. Or your dad. No, of course not. But now, Squall, you're the one who gives me the most comfort. Comfort and happiness. Aw, that's so sweet. And annoyance and disappointment too. Go sit down, Rinoa. Whatever. Too funny. You should get back to your seat now. She was never there to begin with, Squall. Just so you know. Just a little longer. Aw, you'll be safer in your seat. We're gonna make it home, right? Of course we will. Of course. We can only hope. We did enter everything correctly. When we get back, you won't be able to we won't be able to stay together, huh? Maybe. No one can predict the future. There are no guarantees. Those were your words, Rinoa. Okay. That's not what I meant. Okay, what do you mean? We'll figure out what to do once we get back. They'll all be angry at me. How so, exactly? Angry? This is Air Station, Ragnarok. Please respond. This is the Ragnarok. We have some questions for you. We're collecting escape pods. We have a good idea of what happened. I heard no one from Lunar Base is on the Ragnarok. How many of you are there? Just 2. Your names? Squall. I'm a seed from Balam Garden. And the other? Rinoa. Rinoa? The sorceress? She's on the ship? So, it's true? Rinoa's the sorceress? I've become a sorceress. I can't stay with you anymore, Squall. Respond, Ragnarok. I don't want the future. I want the present to stand still. I just want to stay with you, Rinoa. Respond, Ragnarok. Nobody will want me around. No one will want to be around me anymore. The sorceress will be seized upon arrival. Be sure to follow the instructions. I'm scared. Oh. Aww. Squall, do you copy? Is the sorceress listening too? I'm scared, Squall. Aww. I don't want to go back. Aww. It's gonna be okay, Rinoa. I promise it's going to be okay. And so, ends Eyes on Me. One of the best songs in the entire game. Though I highly recommend you look this up on YouTube yourself, because, though I did talk over it, I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to get another copyright claim on top of another one. Oh, that's going to be real fun to deal with. I don't know what to do. Whatever. I'm sure it'll be fine so long as they don't block it. This is just another crossroad in my life. But for the first time, I don't know which way to go. I've come this far because I've fallen for you. Rinoa. Ow, my frickin' butt. Now, am I just supposed to let you go? Good question. Sorceress Rinoa. Hein's descendant. Come with us. We must seal your power for the sake of the world. All right. Thank you for understanding. Tell us when you're ready. I should tell you this before I go. And that would be... I was possessed out in space. There was a sorceress inside me. Ultimika, a sorceress from the future. She's trying to achieve time compression. She's the only one who would be able to exist in such a world. She and no other. As long as I'm free, she'll continue to use me to accomplish her goal. What about Edea? She's also a sorceress, isn't she? We can't let that happen, right? I should go now. I'm ready. Alright. We'll be heading to the sorceress's memorial. Goodbye, Rinoa. Rinoa! Don't go! Thanks, Squall, but I have to go. Rinoa. Oh, I still have your ring. You keep it. You sure? Yeah. What a touching moment. Just seems as though this is what Rinoa decided. There's nothing I can do about it, right? Or is there? Well, at this point now, we can choose to exit and return to the world map. And as you can see, we're quite a ways into the desert. And there's not really much out here other than just sand and stuff. It's quite sandy. But this is a good place to save progress and also heal up if you absolutely have to. So that's pretty nice. And there's also a place where you can save progress here too. So be sure to take that opportunity to do so. After you finish taking care of what you need to do out in the field, return to the inner parts of the ship. Actually, just return to the ship in general, and head up the cockpit elevator. I think. Okay, maybe not there yet, but definitely shortly. This is where we have to go. This area right here, I think this is where passengers would normally sit on the Ragnarok. Hey, Selfie. Good to see you again. Selfie! Woohoo! I'm back! How'd you get here? It was so bad. The impact from the landing knocked me out cold. When I woke up, it was just me and Pete? Pete? Oh, the guy who escaped with us. What happened to Ellen? She wasn't there. I hope she's alright. Pete said he'd wait for the rescue crew. I found a chocobo, so I went for a run. Then I came upon this ship, and there you are, Squall. Blech. And there you were, Squall. I see. Hey, does this ship fly? Does it move? Who knows? Squall, that was so cool when you jumped down into space. Just like a hero from a storybook. Hey, where's the heroine? Rinoa is... Yo, Zell! Good to see you too, buddy. Glad to see you're doing well, along with everyone else. Sup, Squall? So glad you're safe. I hate to tell you this now, but we've got a major problem. We got major problems down here. Well, here it goes. Some big thing called Lunatic Pandora came out of nowhere. Matron couldn't achieve what she set out to do because of it, which is okay. Matron's not a sorceress anymore. Matron gave away her power to someone without realizing it. To Rinoa. And... aha! Oh yeah! The Galbadian military is controlling Lunatic Pandora. They excavated it from the ocean where Esthar sank it years ago. Inside the Lunatic Pandora, there's this thing called the Crystal Pillar. It calls monsters from the moon. Then monsters came falling from the moon. Total panic down here. It wasn't just monsters that came falling down. Sorceress Adel came down along with the machine that couldn't find her. I guess the stream of falling monsters engulfed the machine. Lunatic Pandora caught Adel from that stream. Dr. Odding thinks that may have been Galbadia's true intent. Meaning... Zell, that's enough for now. But Squall... I know we've got problems. But I can't think right now. What's wrong, Squall? Rinoa is a sorceress now. She received Matron's powers. An escort from Esthar came to pick Rinoa up. Rinoa's an Esthar now. We have to go get her! What? Was she taken by force? No, it was Rinoa's decision. She was scared about being a sorceress. Scared of being feared, hated, scared that no one would want to be around her. She said she couldn't handle that. Didn't you try to stop her, Squall? It was Rinoa's decision. What right do I have to object? Oh, stop that! What are you talking about? Why did you go all the way out into space to save Rinoa? Ugh! To hand her over to Esthar so that you might never see her again? No, right? Wasn't it because you wanted to be with Rinoa? You're a fool. Seriously. A fool, huh? Maybe. What am I doing? I may never get to hear Rinoa's voice ever again. What the hell am I doing? What can I do? Of course. Have you decided? Heading to Esthar, right? Pandora, whatever, and Sorceress Adel are out of my hands. I don't even know where to look for Sis. The only thing I know is Rinoa. The only thing I want to do for sure right now is for Rinoa. We're going to get Rinoa back. And to do that, we need to figure out... Whoa! Ah! Hey! Excuse me, we're flying? I hope this ain't the case, but I can picture Selphie in the pilot seat, and Selphie screaming, "Woohoo, we're flying!" And standing next to her, a very excited Irvine. Oh, Squall, you have no idea how right you are. Let's go check it out. Woohoo, we're flying! Squall can see the future! Selphie's just amazing. You sure you can fly this? It just kind of took off. I don't know, it's pretty easy. I think I'll be fine. But there's no guarantee it won't crash. No one can predict the future, right? Selphie, head for Esthar. She's probably at the Sorceress Memorial. We're going to rescue Rinoa. Sounds like a great idea. But first, I need to fix this problem with my green screen. There, that should be better. Sorry for the gut. And sorry for the inconvenience. So the spaceship controls are basically the same as every other vehicle in the game, including Garden. So basically, the only difference between the two is that with the Ragnarok, we can fly up and down. Basically, with the Ragnarok, we can use the Ragnarok to fly anywhere in the entire world. And all you would have to do is just push up to go down and down to go up. And there's also that giant cactuar over there in that desert area. And to be honest, I kind of want to get Rinoa back first before we even think about extra little side activities. So, to get to where we need to go, we just need to fly all the way over towards the Sorceress Memorial. And it's as simple as just flying on over there. We can fly over the shield generator. There's the lunatic Pandora. Don't need to worry about that right now. There's the airport space station where we originally went to when we first went into space. And by the way, this vehicle we're flying here is the last vehicle we'll be flying ever. So, yeah, that's sweet. We don't need to worry about cars or anything of the sort ever again. This may be where I need to go. Then again, I feel like there's another building where I need to go to first. Why can't I get out? Oh, there we go. In order to get out and land the craft, what you have to do is land in a wide open area. Afterwards, you can step out of the craft and just explore on foot. The same as ever could. Same as ever, basically. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and switch out my party a little bit. Irvine, I'm going to switch out for Zell, and Selphie is going to stay where she is. And Junction Exchange is boom. Okay. Basically, everyone has their junction, and everyone's good to go. So that's pretty nice. And I believe at this point you can switch out at any time. And as you can see, Sorceress Edea is out of the party, and she's out for the remainder of the game. So, yeah, that kind of sucks, but that's something we kind of have to deal with. Ooh, death. fun. By the way, I still have not shown off any of the other quizzes yet. And I don't know if I'm in the right place yet. I have a feeling that I'm not. No, I am not. Dang it. Oh well. That's fine. We can just simply exit out of here. And then proceed onward to our actual destination. Sorry for that little roadblock. But it is something we kind of had to deal with. Also, say hello to one of the most dangerous enemies in the entire game. This thing. Basically, what this thing is it kind of looks like a leopard. And the thing is with this thing is it has a very dangerous ability known as level 5 death. And that's something we really do not want to deal with at all. Basically, how that works, how level 5 death works, is anyone that has a level whose multiple is a 5, like 5, 10, 15, etc., then death will kill that character. However, if they're outside of the multiple of 5, then they'll be perfectly fine. And they will not be affected with death whatsoever. So that's pretty nice. So, yeah, there's that. Level 5 death is definitely something you want to be on the lookout for and also be careful of. Because trust me, that's not something you really want to deal with. Ever. But unfortunately it may happen. Especially if the entire party is level 100, then you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's go ahead and save progress once more. And hop back into the Ragnarok. Also, I really love this music that plays when flying the Ragnarok. It's just so mystical, so kick-ass. Okay, so here's where we have to go. Here's the memorial. And as you can see, some cheering music is playing here. Like, yeah, things are looking down, but don't worry, we'll be able to turn things around soon enough. Also, you can find stops here. You want to see your comrade off? I'll make an exception. Go ahead. Well, that's nice. Although, we're not really going to see her off. Just saying. That's not what we're here to do. What are you doing here? This is a restricted area. To do what I should have done earlier, I'll never know unless I do it. What are you talking about? I know what I want and what I have to do. There's still a chance. I'm not gonna look back. I'm taking Rinoa with me. What? You must be joking. It's too late. Oh yeah? Squall, come on, go! Oh dear. Well, the alarm has been raised and sounded. Rinoa, hold on. I'll get you out in a sec. What am I supposed to do? Come on. Oh, I don't know. Use something like, oh, I don't know, a knife? Or a sword? Or something like this? Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Especially for something like this. Rinoa, I'm here. Come to me, my pretty. Never again will you be out of our arms. Never. Aww, what a touching moment. Squall, don't! I'm a sorceress! I don't care. My words exactly. Rinoa, Squall! Let's go. Let's go, Rinoa. On to new adventures and bigger and better things together. Who are you? Hello. You look familiar. Hey, man. The man, looks kind of familiar. How so exactly? Well, we've seen him before. And judging by the looks of his face, even though we can't see it, just saying. He's very familiar. What's wrong, Rinoa? I'm just a little embarrassed. Why? I was so set on staying in Esthar, but then why you guys rescued me? It made me so happy, and no need to be embarrassed. Yeah, happy is good. Thanks, everybody. Squall, you're awfully quiet. What's up? I have a lot on my mind. As an expert Squall observer, he's thinking, what do we do now? Blah, blah, blah. If you think and worry too much, everything tends to turn out bad. I wouldn't say that. Squall, why don't we just picture a brighter future? Sounds like a good idea. Whatever. But seriously, what do we do from here? I'm not really sure, but don't we have to do something about that lunatic Pandora in Esthar? After all, the Galbadians are controlling it. Which means Cypher is behind all this too, right? Cypher is Ultimika's puppet. Yeah, and that's in that Ultimika. We can't let that sorceress from the future mess up our world. Let's go kick her ass. We're seeds. We're here to destroy sorceresses, right? So sorry. So, Squall, where are we going? Can we go to the orphanage you guys were talking about in, Trabia? That place is in shambles. There's nothing to see there. I want to stay away from places where there are lots of people. I'm a sorceress. If Ultimika possesses me again... Let's go. Head for Edea's house. Alright, so our next stop is indeed Edea's house. And before we head there, there is still something else I kind of want to check out. If you remember within that one little desert area that's somewhere within this southern quadrant, I believe it's somewhere over here, or maybe I went a little too far over it. Yeah, I did. Or I'm not close enough. Oops. Ah, here we go. This is what I was talking about. Let's land here. Let's land here, switch everyone around, and I'm going to grab Rinoa. There we are. Junction exchange, Quistis, boom, done. Okay, that way everyone's fully prepared and ready to go. Because that cacti who keeps appearing and disappearing from underground, it's quite special. And just so we don't run into any unnecessary complications, let's change this. Actually, we're probably going to keep what we have. I was going to possibly think about equipping Encounter None, but then again, maybe that's not such a good idea. Everything is saved, so let's fight this thing. We have a bunch of cactars here. These cactar enemies are Final Fantasy staples. And basically these things have a big tendency to run away from battle. And they also have the ability to throw down 1,000 needles. 1,000 needles deals 1,000 damage exactly. These things are also incredibly evasive too. Thankfully, for whatever reason, they're pretty dang weak. But if we hang around here and kill enough cactars, we should be able to summon what is known as the Cactuar King, or Giant Cactuar. Just like with the Tonberry King a while back, this optional enemy is also a GF whom we can recruit. And that's exactly something I'm going to be doing. Thankfully, these things can be encountered on the field, and you can easily just fight the number of cactars that you need in order to get the big Cactuar King to show up and rear his ugly head. What I recommend you do, if you're going for this, is to save progress every time you fight one of these things. So that way, when they reappear, or when you go to fight them yet again, you can fight them some more and keep fighting them until eventually the big boy appears. Here he is, the Cactuar King. He's huge! And he also is very, very powerful. He can deal 10,000 damage, believe it or not, and he also has something like Meltdown, Demi, and Tornado. Some very, very powerful magic here. So let's try casting Meltdown and see what this does. Oh, wow. Okay. I have no idea what that did. I'm going to guess that slowed him down, and I think that prepared him to turn to stone. I don't know if that's the case for sure, but either way, we'll find out soon enough. As I've mentioned, this thing is really powerful, and also very dangerous, so be prepared to throw down Phoenix Downs like they're going out of style. And also summon GFs too, like crazy. Because believe me, this thing is going to take quite a bit of time to take out. I don't know how much HP this thing has, but if you really, really want to be cheap, you can take this thing out relatively quickly by using the damage modifying cheat of 9,999, and just keep dealing that much damage all the time for every attack. Okay, scan. Let's see how powerful this thing truly is. Alright, let's see what he's got as far as stats are concerned. Alright, he has 96,000 HP. He's weak against fire, so something like a freak would completely decimate him. He has 88,000 some HP left to go. He's actually known as the Jumbo Cactuar. Some Cactuars live long lives and grow huge. This Jumbo Cactuar is one of those. Oh man. Well, at least now we know its weakness. Brothers, and... Okay, so, Meltdown. Here we go. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Okay, so Meltdown is actually a fire-based attack. So no wonder it changed color. Since we cast a fire elemental based attack, it dealt a lot of damage to him. And since this thing has over 80,000 HP left in its arsenal, what you would want to do with this thing is just keep hammering him with your strongest attacks. In other words, use GFs like they're going out of style. Keep using them. Left, right, and center. Excuse me. This is going to take some time. Sure, we're dealing over 2k damage right now thanks to the power of brothers and whatnot, but even so, Ifrit. Okay, let's see what Ifrit can do. With the power of Hellfire, we should be able to rain down the pain and bring it down quite hard. We could use, we could also, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, these things are going down no matter what. 3,002. Not bad at all. Okay, here's the 10,000 needles. Youch. Irvine is down. Oh, okay. Thank you, Angelo. You are best dog. Best dog ever. Ow. Fire ammo. This sounds fun. Let's go. Well, there goes all my fire ammo. Oh well, it'll be something to say the least. It may not have done much, but it was better than nothing, that's for sure. One thing's for certain, if you can get Squall into critical HP state, then he can unleash his true power against this thing. And trust me, it's quite fun. 2,700, not bad. As far as damage output. Although it can always be better, that's for sure. And something is always better than nothing, I always say. Okay. To be quite honest, I don't remember fighting this thing, like, at all. So this is kind of like my first encounter when it comes to this giant jumbo cactuar. I was talking about the cactuar species briefly. They, too, are a Final Fantasy staple. There's always one in just about every single Final Fantasy game there is. Basically, cactuars themselves are very common in desert-like areas, and it's also common to see them jitter around. And the reason why is that's just the way they're designed. So no, your frame rate hasn't dropped. That's just the way they are. Cactuars have always been kind of bouncing around. They've always kind of jittered around rather than bounced, but even so, they jitter and move at like about 5 frames per second. Something to that extent. That's the way they've been basically since the very beginning. And as far as I'm aware, god damn it, I did not mean to hit the button like that again. God damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. This isn't gonna be good. Oof. 1,400 damage is still not too bad, but still not great. Not great at all, by any means. And, I did realize I did steal something from this giant cactuar thing, though I don't know what it is. Either way, it was something. And as far as what it was, I don't know. If you can manage to steal it, great. That'll definitely help things out in the future. And like I said, this is going to take quite a while. Of course, you can speed this up considerably by activating the damage modifying cheat. Ooh, curb pluck. What's this? Oh! Ow. Well, damn. Irvine's dead. I hope this is targeting Irvine. Thank God it is. Phew. I was kind of worried there because of the way the cursor looked. I just couldn't tell if I was targeting the right person. Thankfully, with any sort of revival restoration magic, it will automatically target those that are inflicted with it. I'm not so sure about status ailments, but even so. Treatment does not auto-target, which is kind of disappointing, but even so, it's not that bad. It's pretty easy to target the right person if you need to. 25 something, not bad at all. Okay. And, you know what, I'm gonna have Rinoa draw from this thing. Dang it. I was going to have her draw, so that way she has a brand new spell she can work with. Meltdown, please. Damn it. Ow. And I have no idea if it's intended for the frame rate to drop whenever the Kerplunk attack occurs. But either way, it is an effect that does occur for whatever reason. Not exactly something I can control, it's just the way it's designed. Don't know why it's designed that way, but that's just the way it is. Still don't know how much HP this thing has left. I mean, we were dealing at least 2k damage, roughly, for every attack we deal, so almost 3,000 damage for every attack. Oh dear. Who's getting hit? I think that was Irvine. Yep, he's dead. Ah, dang it. Here you go, Irvine. Get back up, please. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised this thing hasn't targeted Squall yet. Normal shot doesn't seem like it's doing very much, but anything's better than nothing, I always say. And by the way, I don't think that the 10,000 needle technique is I don't think the 10,000 needle technique is a magic attack. Instead, it's more of a physical attack. So even if you cast Reflect, it will still hit you no matter what. So that kinda sucks. It really, really does. Oh well, that's perfectly fine with me. Okay, let's keep hammering this SOB, and hopefully we can take it down within a good time frame. That would be great. And there we are. Nearly 3,000 damage. Nicely done. And Squall is not doing too much, not too badly himself. Oh dear. Damn it, Squall's down. And there goes Rinoa. Okay, not yet. Not yet. Thank God. Although it would be helpful if I had something like invulnerability right now. That would be awesome. That would be awesome for sure. I've not mentioned this yet, but basically how criticals or limit breaks work is it's dependent on the crisis level. The crisis level is invisible to the player, and basically it all boils down to the situation that you're in. Well, damn. I missed a lot of hits. That's not good. Blasting zone, okay. I'm glad that the Squall was able to get this off at least. Also, I did not realize that Rinoa learned Angel Wings. This is a brand new limit break that she can use. I'll try to show that off next time we get a chance to unleash it. Come on! Angelo Cannon! Boom, baby! Nice hit. What I'm really hoping to be able to show off right now is Lionheart. Angel Wings, perfect! Let's show this off now. Now that I have the chance to do it, let's go for it. Perfect! Come on, give me a Lionheart. Oh, another blasting zone. Alright. Not exactly something I was going for, but it'll work. Still, it's nice to see this go off every now and again. I really, really want to see Lionheart. I want to see it. I want to show it off on camera. I have managed to get Lionheart before when I was playing on my practice file, that's for sure. Now let's show off Angel Wings. I don't know if this limit break is given to Rinoa via a pet pal's volume, or if she learns this, what the hell just happened? That didn't seem like it did anything. Okay. That, I don't even know what that was. Perhaps, it casts a random spell? I really don't know how Angel Wings work. But, even so. Okay. Okay, what the hell? Item, Phoenix down, now. Perhaps when Rinoa is attacking, she's going to be using random spells. Well, okay, maybe not random, but more so, whatever the weakness is. Okay, no, never mind, it's random. Just random spells for several turns. Oh, crap. Well, Rinoa's dead again. Dang it, man! Stupid cactus! Die! Die, damn it! Come on, give me a Lionheart. Damn it! Any finisher would have been good, but no! Oh, it's hesitating. Well, that's definitely something. Ah, crap. Okay. This is not good. Not good at all. Come on, please. Thank you. Okay. Squall's back up on his feet. Now, we just... Damn it. Alright, let's try that again. And if I do fall to this thing, which is very likely going to happen now, if that does happen, I will activate the magic cheat. I mean, that damage modifying cheat is what I meant to say. I will be using it if I end up dying here. Just so we can, at least for a little bit, of the fight. Fated Circle. Okay. New move, at least. Okay, it's not new, but even so. Take this! Not bad at all. Whew! Holy shit! We did it! My god! The giant cactar is dead. 20 AP. Excellent. And we obtained a new GS. Cactar! Cactar's the name. Pain is his game. Let's see. He is listed next to Tonberry and starts at level 20. His highest compatibility is Selfie, but in the current party setup, that would be Rinoa. Let's see, what does he have for abilities? He has HP bonus, strength bonus, vitality bonus, magic bonus, and spirit bonus. Along with the usual other things. Let's see, what should we have him learn first? He can learn Evasion Junction as well as Luck Junction. A ton of AP is required, but damn! If you can throw down something that allows you to increase your evasion by a substantial amount, you can basically become invincible. Basically. Okay, and as far as Kamikaze, what this does is, if you use the command, a character will charge in and deal a substantial amount of damage to the enemy, but in return, the user will die instantly. And I don't think they can be revived. At least that's how it worked in Final Fantasy X. I'm not so sure here. Let's see. What should we have you learn first, though? And by the way, every single one of these abilities that you can have Cactuar learn at this point in the game requires a ton of AP. And as far as everyone else, let's see. What should we work on here? Basically everything that they're currently learning. Auto Reflect is completed, so that's pretty nice. Pretty nice to see. Let's go with... you know what, let's just keep you with GF HP plus 30%. Keep you working on that. And everyone else, you are going to work on something else. I think I'm going to have you learn... How about, let's go with Summoning Magic plus 10%. Okay. And Rinoa, let's give you your new friend, Cactuar. Absolutely perfect. I think I'm going to change initiative to something else. Let's see. How about HP bonus? Yeah, let's go with that. That'll work. So that way Rinoa can keep gaining HP, because God only knows she needs that much frickin' HP to begin with. Okay, where's the... How about a cottage? That'll work. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Oh, I love it when I win so much, especially when the odds were so against me. Phew! That was real fun, that's for sure. To be honest, I think with the casting Meltdown, that made the fight basically become easy mode. So, that kind of sucked, but at the same time, I don't frickin' care. And the reason why I don't care is because that Cactuar can be a massive pain in the frickin' behind. That's for sure. Alright. Everything's good here. Progress is saved. Let's head to Edea's house. Hey, Angelo. What's up, girl? Ooh, what a strange-looking flowered field. Ah, this is good. This is very good. What? See this bruise here? I had to put up with Rinoa's kicks and punches for you. So seeing you two like this makes it all worth it. I'm sorry, Irvine. Hey, don't worry about it, okay? I'll leave you two alone now. What'll become of me? Don't worry about it. There's been many good sorceresses. Edea was one. You can be like her. But Edea still... I can't guarantee anything either, if Ultimika possesses me again. You saw me. She controlled me in outer space and made me break Adel's seal. What might happen next time? What will I end up doing? Will I end up fighting everyone? Scary thought, isn't it? Rinoa, even if you end up as the world's enemy, I'll be your knight. If I fall under Ultimika's control again, Seed will come kill me, right? And the leader of Seed is you, Squall. Squall's sword will pierce my heart. I guess it's okay if it's you, Squall, nobody else. Squall, if that ever happens, that's enough. I'll never do anything like that. The sorceress I'm after is not you, Rinoa. My enemy is the sorceress from the future, Ultimika. Ultimika lives in the future and possesses me. She uses my body as her extension to this world. How? How will you save me? I'll come up with something. There's gotta be a way. Don't worry. Trust me. I trust you. Well, until you find a way, maybe. Maybe I should stay in Esthar at that memorial? Wouldn't that be better? No, that'd be pointless. I'll just end up going after you again. Rinoa, just stay close to me. Oh, those words. What? That's what started everything. What are you talking about? You don't remember? Something I said? Oh, just forget it. No, it's because of the GF. That's why I forgot. That's just an excuse. Feeling better? Yeah. Can I tell you a story? I had a dream. It was a scary dream. We make a promise. We promised to see shooting stars together. I get dressed up and put on your ring. I get dressed up and put on your ring. But the thing is, I can't remember where I'm supposed to meet you. I started to panic. I really wanted to see you. Squall, but I don't know where to go. I started running through the mountains, the desert, the plains, through timber, Balam, Galbadia. When I realized I can't run any longer, I just want to see you so badly. So I screamed, Squall, where are you? Then I woke up. I was crying. I'm sorry. You don't have to say anything. I just felt like I had to tell you. It was just a dream. It doesn't mean anything. Don't worry about it. I guess you're right. How about this? I'll be here. This sounds familiar. Why? The reason why you couldn't find me was because we haven't promised yet. Promised? I'll be waiting for you. If you come here, you'll find me. I promise. I'll be here too. It's a promise. Thanks, Squall. Next time we'll meet for sure. Whoa! What's up, Zell? Sorry to interrupt, but it's an emergency. We got radio contact from Esthar's presidential palace. They have a plan to defeat Ultimika. They want to hire C to execute it. Might be a trap to get Rinoa back in Esthar. Oh, and the guys we spoke to, his name's Kyros. Could he be that Kyros? Kyros is in Esthar's presidential palace? He wants to hire us? Alright, let's go. Okay, then. And if you remember correctly, that as Squall and Rinoa were speaking, that promise they made was the same promise also spoken during the introduction FFV sequence in the very beginning of the game. So, yeah, that was very important. Who knew? Squall, you were always looking for Ellen with tears in your eyes. Anything else, Edea? I guess not. I guess we have no choice but to leave. Squall! What's up, Edea? There is something I must tell you. It's about me. And that would be... Yes, I believe it was 13 years ago. This is when my story begins. I first became a sorceress when I was a child, and once again 13 years ago. That day, right here, I encountered a sorceress on the verge of death. I received her powers of my own will. That sorceress was an entity of fear for my children. I could not let her get to them, but this turned out to be the beginning of my painful story. At this very minute, my bitter story has ended. I now understand that there is an end, no matter how painful it may be. Therefore, Squall, you must fight to the end, even though it may bring tragedy to others. Now, go, Squall. Sure, Edea. We'll head out momentarily. First off, though, I'm going to head down here and grab this draw point here. Thank you very much. Thank you for the Curatus. I don't know if there's anything else worth mentioning here. Oh, Edea somehow teleported. Okay. I guess you can talk to Edea again, if you really wanted to. Okay. So, I guess this is, very interesting. Ah. Okay. Okay. So, basically what Edea is saying is that Rinoa needs to find a knight now that she's a sorceress. And thankfully, we already know who that knight is going to be. Indeed. Thank you, Sid. Basically, what he was saying is, being decisive's good, being indecisive's also pretty good. Just don't get caught in the middle of it. Just don't. That would just bring pain and misery and tragedy amongst everyone around you. So, yeah. Oh, right. Let's see. Junction. Wait. I think Irvine still has his junctions, right? Yes, he does. Okay. I kind of forgot that Zell just randomly joins the party as he and Rinoa, as he encounters Squall and Rinoa talking about stuff. So now that we have the Ragnarok, like I've mentioned before, we can go anywhere in the entire world, and there are no lands that can stop us. We could choose to return to Balam Garden if we want, but honestly, there's not much of a point in doing so. And I don't even know if you can return to Balam Garden at this point. You might not be able to, ever. So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind after heading out through Fisherman's Horizon. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you may not be able to go back to Garden ever again. Kind of strange how the Ragnarok is a ship that can fly backwards. Very interesting. It's almost as if it was a helicopter. Okay, let's go ahead and head towards the Presidential Palace. Oh my, that was weird. Took a little bit of time for the battle to commence, but here we go. That's perfectly fine. I don't mind waiting a little bit of time before fighting my next enemy. Thankfully, the enemies here aren't that bad. They're once again not as bad as some of those freaking monsters whom we fought not that long ago back on the Ragnarok when it was floating in space. Because holy crap, that was annoying. Like, absolutely annoying. Ugh, that was truly something else. It's fine. It's totally fine. We'll get through this. And we'll make it to the presidential palace within Esthar City. No problem. It's not a problem at all. It's just the enemies are going to take a little bit more time to take down than usual, and I keep missing the frickin' trigger for whatever reason. Dang it. Whatever. It's gonna be okay. I know I can cure Squall's darkness right now with, like, some eye drops or a remedy. Okay. I know I can cure him with a remedy, but I don't feel like using one right this moment. I honestly keep forgetting about re-equipping a treatment. I keep meaning to re-equip that, but why I didn't do it myself earlier, I do not know. The only thing I can do now is just keep slicing and dicing everyone. Here we go. Problem solved. I know one thing I could do is just equip Encounter None, so that way we don't have to worry about random encounters until we reach Esthar City. But, to be honest, actually maybe I will equip it. And I also keep forgetting about the revive command. So I'm gonna go ahead and equip that. And I'm also gonna equip Encounter None. And as far as Rinoa is concerned... Actually, no, Irvine. I'm gonna have you do treatment, recover, and item. Sure, you may not be able to use GFs anymore, but that's alright. That's totally okay. Also gonna give him auto-reflect as well. That way, he'll automatically reflect any sort of magic spells that are thrown at him specifically. So, that's nice. We don't need to worry about magic spells when it comes to Irvine ever again. So long as he has the ability equipped. The only thing is, some spells may still pass through depending on the kind of magic it is, and if it's, like, registered as a physical attack and it's tied to, like, some sort of elemental element. That didn't make a whole lot of sense, but to be honest, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Ability... Strength plus 20%. And you know what? I'm probably going to go ahead and give him a strength bonus instead of strength plus 20%. That way he'll continue to gain strength as time goes on. And the more levels he gains, the more powerful strength-wise he'll become. Okay. We're back here in Esthar. And the music is quite different here. Where's the lifter? When's it coming? It looks like the city is still in the midst of chaos. And the lift system is still not working. So, once again, be prepared for random encounters. Be ready for them as they can appear at any time, as far as I'm aware. Then again, maybe they won't appear. Who knows? But I know one thing's for sure. There is an enemy who you can farm here for certain cards. And if you haven't gotten the Lionheart yet, now's your best chance during this trade. So, that is something to keep in mind. However, since I already have the Lionheart in tow, this is not a concern for me. It really isn't. Of course, I still need to get my hands on some other ultimate weapons for other characters, and not only that, but I also need to continue to gather some materials in order to be able to get my hands on yet another GS. And that GS I'm talking about is known as Doom Train. I brought this up during the last play session, but basically, in order to summon Doom Train and make him your own, you have to get your hands on certain items, like Marlboro tentacles, I believe some steel pipes, and of course the ring itself. Steel pipes can be refined from certain cards, I believe, and same with the Marlboro tentacles. I don't know how many Marlboros I have in my possession currently. By Marlboros, I mean the cards, not so much the monsters. Just saying. I guess I can check that real quick. Let's see. Here we go. We got 5 of them. So really, I can only get one of these tentacles I'm looking for. So that kind of sucks. Oh well, that's okay. You can also get Marlboro tentacles from Chocobo World as well. I don't know what grade item of which they have. Let's see. High Magic Mod. Okay. Basically, the High Magic, what that does is... Okay. High Magic, what that does is it turns a mid-level spell to a high-level spell. So Thundera will become Thundiga, and Cura will become Curaga, etc., etc. So pretty nice to have. Let's see. Card mod. Wizard Stone. I know I can get Marlboro tentacles from Marlboros themselves. Oh, here we go. A steel pipe. Let me check real quick. I took a picture of the requirements earlier. For steel pipes, okay. I need 6 of them. So, there we are. Got 5 steel pipes out of that. I don't think I have enough steel pipes as of yet. But, there is another item that I do need, and it's known as a Remedy Plus. And I would need 6 of them. Basically, Remedy Pluses are like remedies. They're essentially the same thing, except they also work with magic effects, so like Vitality 0. So, yeah. Not exactly something I can really work with here. Okay. That'll work. Let me check my steel pipes real quick. Let's see. Steel pipe, steel pipe, steel pipe. That's a steel orb. Sleep powder. Marlboro tentacle. M-stone piece. No. I just made a steel pipe not too long ago. Where the hell is it? Let's see here. No, no, no. Steel orb. Dragon fin. Okay, what the frick? I just made the steel pipe. I just made them. Why is it not listed? I know I have steel pipes here. Let's see. Maybe it's under one of these? Where the hell is the steel pipe? Let's see. Steel pipe. Oh, here we go. Here it is. Yeah, I got 5 of them. This makes the GF learn summoning magic plus 10%. Okay. So I just need 1 more steel pipe and I should be good to go here. But of course, that's going to be easier said than done to acquire. There's also a save point here. Wow. Looks like this entire city is decimated. I better save progress here, just in case. Here we are. Okay. And like I said, I can get Marlboro tentacles no problem. I just, Oh, hello, you. This is the enemy I'm talking about earlier, where you have to create 20 of these, you have to turn 20 of these into cards. And basically, if you manage to turn these enemies into cards, then you can easily create the lion heart. That's one of the ingredients that you need in order to create said thing. But these things can be a bit dangerous, let me tell you. They have a lot of HP. Thankfully nowhere near as much as the Jumbo Cactar who we fought not too long ago. But even so, I figure I'd throw it out there. These things can be pretty damn dangerous. They have some pretty devastating attacks, so be prepared. Be prepared for a long fight here. That's for sure. You can also farm these guys very easily as well. Damn it, that missed. Because the enemy's floating in the air, so earth attacks are completely useless. That was my mistake for using brothers, and I shouldn't have. So, there is a way you can easily abuse this farming technique, and that is you can make it so you can put Quistis in critical health, unleash her limit break, essentially, that or give her aura. That will also help with unleashing limit breaks as well. So, yeah. Essentially, you want to use a certain limit break when it comes to Quistis. I don't know what the name of the limit break is, but it is a limit break that is very powerful, and it can send enemies into another dimension, essentially, and instantly defeat them. So in a sense, it kind of acts like Odin, but it's a limit break, and it can only be used against certain enemies, or it can only be used so much. And wow, this thing is still coming. Storm Breath. Well, that hurt quite a bit. Let's try out Cactar. Summon our new comrade and our new brother in arms. Let's see what it can do. I'm pretty sure it's going to use something like 1,000 or 10,000 needles. Or something to that extent. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. Guess we'll be finding out what it'll do after Squall's attack here. And 1,000 needles. Okay. So, 1,000 needles, as I've mentioned before, deals exactly 1,000 damage. Or, in this case, it deals 2,000. Neat. So, that's pretty nice. 2,000 damage exactly. Alright, let's try Tonberry. I know I've shown him off a couple times. Also, Sweet. Revive, basically what that does is, not only does it act like a free Phoenix down, but it also fully heals the... target. So if an enemy is technically undead, then you can use Revive to deal a shit ton of damage. And essentially, it'll act like death. One thing I'm kind of wondering, is this creature technically undead? I don't know. Something I'm kind of thinking about trying. I don't want to use, okay, let's try... High Potion you. That way we can quickly undo that. Yeah, we can do that. No problem. Okay. I was wondering if this thing was considered undead. It's not. That's unfortunate. Alright. Let's keep going on this thing. To be honest, I haven't really fought this thing before. This is a completely new encounter. And the reason why it is a new encounter to me is because I think when I got to this place, I just had encounter none active the entire time. And I just kept it active, basically, for the entire trip here in Esthar. That way, just so that way, we can... God damn it! Come on, give me back to 100%. Good enough. Alrighty then. What was I saying before? I don't know. I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, I remember now. I basically had encounter none active the entire time I was running through here. So I never encountered any monsters that were roaming the city. Ow. Ass. I really wish I could upgrade Irvine's gun right now. I really, really do. Because dealing like 70-some damage is definitely not going to cut it. Especially for this point in the game, that's for sure. Another thing that's worth pointing out too is that you can run during these encounters. Though, I would not recommend it unless you are in a desperate situation and you need to make your escape. Just saying. Also, that was complete bullshit. 93. Still not good. Not good at all. Phew. Okay, how much more does this thing... How much more HP does this damn thing have? This is getting absolutely ridiculous. Just die already, damn it! God. I still have yet to show off some of the other GFs that we have in up our arsenal, such as Alexander. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and show him off now. After this one, of course. Then again, maybe this will be enough to finally finish this damn flying beast off. Oh, that'll be something, that's for sure. Come on, let's finish this. Nice and quick. Ooh, 187. I think that's a new record. New record! Damn, nearly 4,000 damage from that attack alone. That is awesome. Still got a ways to go, though. Ow. Okay, recover... Yeah. Alright, time to show off the power of Alexander! Alexander the Great. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Watch as Alexander makes his way onto dry land and gets ready to unleash a mighty armada of pure light. And here it comes. 1521. Not too bad, but still not great. I feel like Squall can deal that kind of damage on his own. Well, close to it, rather. Even so. Feels like this thing is weak against wind magic, for whatever reason. I don't know why that is, but even so, it's still weak against wind. It's weird, and it's dumb, I know. But whatever, it's just the way it is. Damn it! How did that happen? Ah, dang it, dang it, dang it. Are you dead yet? No, of course not. That would make things too easy. Okay, I wonder what we can draw from this thing. Pain and double. Let's try casting pain on this thing. Dang it. Well, that kind of sucked. Oh dear. Thankfully, it seems as though Storm Breath doesn't do very much as far as damage is concerned. Pain cast, no. Alright, let's see what this will do. It missed. Well, dang it. That was definitely something. Alrighty then. I seriously love these little battle commands that heal you and do all kinds of wonderful things, such as a full recovery and being able to treat any status ailment in the entire game, which is absolutely insane. So essentially, treatment is like a free remedy plus, which is absolutely bananas. Oh man. Still don't know how much HP this thing has left. Hopefully it doesn't have too much more, because this is getting absolutely ridiculous. Should not be lasting this long, that's for sure. Okay, die? Jesus, finally! God damn. That took forever. Phew! God damn. 18 AP, 2. Magic bonus, sweet. And I'm not too sure, but I believe with that, Siren is done. She's learned every single ability that she can possibly learn in this entire game. So if you want her to learn any new abilities, you have to make her forget an ability and swap it out for another. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. She won't be able to learn any more abilities for the remainder of the game. So the only way to allow her to learn anything more is to make her forget something useless, like say something like magic plus 20%, and give her a scroll of some kind that gives her a new ability. And even if you make a GF forget an ability once they're fully learned everything, well, the thing is, they won't learn anything else. Never. Alright, let's see what else everyone's working on. Still working on calling shop. Man, that was definitely a fun adventure, that's for sure. Definitely gonna save progress here for sure, just in case we encounter another one of those bastards. In which case, I'll probably just activate the damage cheat so that way we can clear them out. Why? How did this... Good question. Oh, Pete. Oh, dear. Oh, okay. It's only you. You're nothing. Nothing but scum. You're filth. I'm gonna rip you apart. Prepare to die. Later, dude. I said later, dude. Okay. Let's go ahead and heal everyone up as much as we possibly can, once again. There you go. Now sit down and shut up. Thank you, and goodbye. There we go. Another double level up. That's what I like to see. Okay. Now then, here is the presidential palace. What are we to do? Who knows? Except run around in circles and do absolutely nothing. That's not something you want to do here, that's for sure. This place is basically thrown into chaos. Come on, you want some of this? Yeah, let's enter the palace now. It seems as though the monsters are... No, dang it. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh wait, yeah I do. Basically what I'm trying to say is, since this city is under siege by monsters, they're doing everything they can to protect the citizens, as well as the presidential palace. Speaking of the presidential palace, the reason why we're here is because Kyros wants to hire us. You have permission, please, this way. What do you mean? Over here? No? Okay. The president is waiting. President? Ooh. I wonder who this president is. The president of the United States? Barack Obama? Donald Trump? Hillary Clinton? Who knows? The president is waiting. Same thing. Let's see what we got. Ward? Kyros. And that's probably... And that man over here is none other than the big man of the hour. In just a moment. What's up with this country? Oh, sure. Hey there. Here he is. It's Laguna. Laguna from the dream sequence is here. And apparently he's the president of this city. Been waiting to meet you guys. You guys are the ones who were inside my head, right? Ellen told me. It was like there was some kind of waves running through my head. They gave us so much power during battle. We thought they were some kind of fairies flying over us. So, I'm Laguna, President Laguna, Lore of Esthar. Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you too. I also may be your dad. If we weren't in a state of emergency, I'd like to talk to you some more. But, well, whatever. Let's talk. What do you want to know? You'll never get going if President Laguna keeps talking. So why don't you guys throw out some questions and he'll try to answer them? Okay, sounds fair enough. Man, you look way too serious. Whatever. Okay, let's first, ask where Ellen is. What the heck has he done with his life? Don't you wonder? When Ellen was about 2, there was a massive hunt for girls in Esthar. Esthar soldiers came to Windhill and Ellie's parents resisted. They were killed on the spot. the massive hunt was to find the successor to Esthar's ruler, sorceress Adel. Ellen was raised by Rain, who lived next door, and I came to know her. Then there was another massive hunt for a successor in Esthar again. Ellie was taken away even though I was there. It was the most painful episode of my life. So I rescued her and sent her off to Windhill. Shortly after that, Rain died. And Ellen was sent straight to an orphanage. Why didn't you go back to Windhill with her? I wanted to, but I had my reasons. I found out about this afterward, but the reason why Ellen had to leave the orphanage was because of her special power. Doc Andi wanted to do research on Ellen's special power. He looked for her everywhere. The owners of the orphanage were Sid Kramer and his wife Edea. You know them better than I do. Wow, interesting. The Kramers took Ellie out of the orphanage to protect her. They prepared a big ship to accommodate her. Gracious of them, huh? Or generous of them. Whatever. After a while, the ship turned into another orphanage, and Ellie looked after all the kids. She said her life on the ship was a happy one, but who knows? I don't know how she could have been happy on the ship. She was on the ship for over 10 years. The ship was attacked by Galbadia recently. Esthar's ship rescued them, and she finally met up with me. It was pure luck that we found her. I was out in space at that time. Ellen found me out in space. Or found me out to space. Followed me out to space. My god, I can't read today. Little Ellie was all grown up. Then she told me everything. Did she get back safely from space? Our escape pod rescue team was a little late. Ellie was taken into custody by Galbadia. She's inside Lunatic Pandoria. We're going to rescue her. Help us out, okay? Phew. Okay, can you, now explain the mission? Actually, yeah, can you explain the mission to defeat Ultimika? Ah, straight to the heart of the matter, just like a workaholic seed. Is it my turn? Yeah, make it short and easy to understand. I will talk whenever I want. Yeah, Sorceress Edea told me everything. Sorceress Ultimika comes from the future to possess the sorceress of present day. Meaning she leaves her body in the future and sends only her consciousness here. Doctor, that sounds familiar to you? Does that sound familiar to you? It's like Ellen sent our consciousness back to the past. You're a smart one. My first guess was that someone in the future with an ability like Ellen was sending the sorceress back here to our time. But no, that is not the answer. So how does the sorceress come back to this time? You want to hear now? How? Yes, please. Yeah. I kept this a secret to surprise you. It is because of me on Ardeen. I researched Ellen's powers long ago. I made out a pattern from the electric current running through Ellen's brain. Once the pattern was determined, it was easy to mechanize. It was only a toy right now, but in the time of Ultimika, it is an impressive working machine. Which means there is a machine which imitates Ellen's power. It is I who made the first model of that machine. I named the machine Junction Machine Ellen. It is a wonderful thing to know that my invention is used in the future. Junction Machine Ellen. Junction Machine Ellen. That's about it. So, Sorceress Ultimika came to know about Ellen from that machine, and Ellie became Ultimika's target. So, you can't blame Audine. It's useless. You want to go outside? You want to fisticuffs? Okay, we continue the story. Let's see. There's only one way to defeat Ultimika. You must kill her in the future. There is nothing we can do unless we go to the future. There is no way to jump to the future under normal circumstances. But there is still a way. It is because Sorceress Ultimika plans to compress time. Compressing time with magic, what good will it do for the sorceress to compress time? There may be reasons, but it doesn't matter. Let's just figure out what Ultimika is up to. In order for Ultimika to exist in this time, she must take over the body of a sorceress from the present. But the machine must have a limit. Ultimika probably needs to go back further in time to achieve time compression. Only Ellen can take her back further into the past. That is why she is seeking her, desperately seeking her. We must take advantage of Ellen's power. There are two sorceresses in our time, Sorceress Rinoa and Sorceress Adol. Of the two, Adol has not awakened yet. Once regeneration is completed, neither Laguna nor I will be safe. Sorceress Adol is probably in the process of awakening inside Lunatic Pandora. Ultimika will want to possess Adol if Adol wakes up. That will be a horrible event. Adol is a horrible sorceress. If Adol's consciousness wins over Ultimika, Adol will first destroy this era. So we must use Sorceress Rinoa to inherit Ultimika's powers. That's all for the mission briefing. First, go to Lunatic Pandora. Ellen's probably being held captive inside, so rescue her first. Then kill Sorceress Adol before the awakening process is completed. Now we're left with Rinoa as the only sorceress of this era. Then wait for Ultimika to possess Rinoa. When Ultimika arrives, it's Ellen's turn. Ellen will send Rinoa back to the past with Ultimika. Ellen will have to send Rinoa and Ultimika inside another sorceress she knows in the past. Edea or Adol, that is up to Ellen. Once Ultimika is in the past, she'll use the time compression magic. She will see some influence here. I don't know what kind of influence, but once Ellen feels it, she'll cut Rinoa and Ultimika off from the past. Rinoa will come back to this world. Ultimika also goes back to her own world. What would be left is the time compression world. Time compressed world. Past, present, and future will all get mixed together. You will keep moving through the time compression towards the future. Once you're out of the time compression, that will be Ultimika's world. It's all up to you after that. Wow. Okay, so this doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. We're trying to prevent time compression from happening, and yet our plan is to actually accelerate that and make it happen anyway, so that way we can go to the future and fight Ultimika. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but in a way that is a smart idea since there's no sort of time machine that we can use to traverse time and space. Not like, say, Doctor Who, but even so. This is probably the best and only way of being able to make our way all the way to the future and fight Ultimika. So that's basically our next goal. So you were briefed about the mission? I don't really understand it either. Will you do it? I have questions. Tell me about Rain. Rain's story? Some other time, maybe. No, I can't. It's too much for me to remember. Let's see. Can I ask him anything else? What are you doing here? You know what I've been doing all my life, right? You were a silly Galbanian soldier. I didn't like your attitude at all. But I understood the bond between the three of you. Then you changed after you went to Windhill. Then Ellen was abducted by Esthar and you went on a journey. A journey to get Ellen back. You wrote articles and appeared in movies to get by. You were trying to find a way into Esthar. You somehow got into Esthar and rescued Ellen. I got a lot of help along the way. What I don't understand is, why are you the president? Want to know? It's a long story. Let's hear it. You want to hear it, really? Okay, I'll tell you. I only sent out to rescue Ellen, but of course, that wasn't the end of the story. It's a country ruled by sorceress Adel with the ingenious yet inhumane Adine. Both of them were interested in Ellen. We couldn't just pack up and leave. Adel will be angry. My research will be kaput. Well, Adine only thought about his research. Aww. Okay, that's pretty funny. But while researching under Adel's orders, he was still making many inventions. It was a device to seal magic, sealing facility. Maybe Adel could be defeated. I owed a big favor to Adel's resistance who helped me rescue Ellen. Okay, what happened next? I spoke with my comrades. Two issues came up. First, stopping the crystal pillar from calling monsters from the moon and destroying everything like what happened in Centra. Second, freeing Esthar from Adel's hands. We planned and planned, based on my brilliant ideas, of course. Okay, what's next? We're back in the lunatic research facility. Okay, there's only one goal. And that is stop Sorceress Adel. Stop her from ruling the world. Following Adine's instructions, we operated the panel and moved the crystal pillar. We set the course and the stop point in the ocean, and goodbye. Whoa! Whoa, what is this? That was easy, but we were found out. So we gathered for a final battle to Lord Adel. And how did it go? There she is. Adel appeared as we expected. What is going on? We hunted down the culprit who moved the crystal pillar. Where? Inside there. Ellen's been taken hostage. I knew she would go in right away if I mentioned Ellen. You thought I would fall for that trick? Adel realized that Ellen was a hologram, but it was too late. Too late for her? Yeah, of course. My plans are always perfect! Hero Sword, now! Ha ha ha! Piece of cake! Adel was careless. She may be a sorceress, but after all, she was human. A very disgusting looking human, but even so, human. We succeeded, but we couldn't keep such a dangerous sorceress around as a trophy. We had to do something. So, we decided to send her far, far away. To a galaxy far, far away. Someplace very far. Into outer space. And that's where Ragnarok came in, apparently. Very interesting. Apparently there were 3 of them? Wow. Plus 1 more rocket to carry the seal all the way up to space. And that about wraps up that part. But the real work began after that. A fierce debate ensued about who should govern this country after Adel was gone. I wasn't paying close attention while they made me up to be this hero of the revolution, and I ended up being the president. I already made a lot of noise about wanting to do research on Ellen. It was a mistake to send Ellen alone back to Rain. Rain died and Ellie was sent to the orphanage. If I had only gone to Windhill with Ellie, I would have been able to see Rain one last time. Rain was dead, Ellen missing. My job kept me busy. I was left here thinking about this and that, and before I knew it, all this time had passed. Well, that's about it. And what a long story indeed. Holy crap. Alright, yep, I'll do the mission. Alright. Let's go. We'll get aboard Ragnarok. Let's do the final briefing in there. I always wanted to ride that thing, plus the name sounds cool. So cool. Indeed. Alrighty then. Let's hop on. Alright. Everyone. From here, we go straight to our final target, Ultimika. Let's go over the plan again. First, enter Lunatic Pandora and rescue Ellen. Next, you'll fight Sorceress Adel. It'll be a surprise attack. Show no mercy. Now here comes the tricky part. Adel will need to pass on her powers before being defeated. Rinoa, will you be willing to accept them? Yes. Good. Next, we wait for Sorceress Ultimika to possess Rinoa. This will be hard on you, Rinoa, but will you do it? Will you do it? Yes. That's the spirit. Then Ellen sends Rinoa and Ultimika to the past. Ellen brings back Rinoa. Then head to the future through compressed time. Ultimika lives far in the future where none of us can technically exist. There's only one way to make yourself exist in a world like that. As friends, don't forget one another. As friends, believe in one another. Believe in the power of friendship. Believe in your friend's existence and they'll also believe in yours. Sounds like a load of bullshit in the entire plot synopsis for Fairy Tail. To be friends, to like one another, and to love one another. You can't do these things alone. You need somebody. Somebody to love. Right, guys? What place reminds you of your friends? Imagine being in that place with all your friends. Once time compression begins, think of that place and try to get there. That's all. That place will welcome you. You'll be able to get there no matter what period you're in. You'll need love and friendship for this mission, and the courage to believe it. It's all about love, friendship, and courage. I'm counting on you guys. Love and friendship and all. That sounds corny, but everyone seems to be up for it. You think it'll succeed? We'll try. Okay. Oh, God, I love that cramp in the leg from Laguna. That's too funny. So, our mission is clear. Our next objective is to head towards that giant floating rectangular cube in the sky, crash into it, and begin the final part of this game. And we're just about ready to finish up Disc 3. However, there are still some pressing matters that I still want to take care of. That is getting the required items that I need in order to be able to summon Doom Train. And I also want to look into other GFs that are roaming around the game. I don't know if I can get them at a later point in the adventure, in the main game, or do I have to get them here while I have the chance? I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure one of them, yeah, you do have to get it here while you have the chance. So, before heading into that giant floating cube of death, or rectangle of death, what I recommend you do is create a backup save. Create a backup save so that way when you choose to go into the cube, you have no regrets. And if you feel like you've missed something, you can easily return to the outside world and just get what you need out here. So, yeah, that's pretty nice. But at this point, though I haven't gone over 3 hours just yet, I feel like now's a good point to stop. Now's a good point to just stop for today. And the reason why is because I need to do a little bit of research and gather a little bit of information in order to figure out the remaining GFs I need to get my hands on, other than Doom Train. I believe Doom Train is either this slot or this slot. I'm not too sure, but either way, there are 3 GFs left to get our hands on. One of them is going to be in an optional dungeon, which is extremely difficult to do. And I may consider doing it. I'm not too sure as of yet. But just to let you know, I'm thinking about it. I'll be doing some research this evening and see what I can figure out. Anywho, I'm going to call it a day here. This is General Snivy with the Final Fantasy VIII playthrough. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you were able to attend the live stream live, thank you for attending. In the next session, depending on what kind of research I do, we may go explore the world a bit before we crash into Lunatic Pandoria and begin the last chunk of the game. But for now, I'm done here. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. See you all next time.